What's up? You got the B minor,
We got the X Factor in the building.
and we're here tonight with my main man, Kyle Atkinson. Kyle Atkinson's one of my favorite people. I've known this guy since he was a freshman in high school at South Salem High School. Kyle played on my club traveling team. Shout out Oregon Stars. Back when I was living down in Southern Oregon, and Kyle was in Salem, and we went to Vegas, road tripped it, took his mom's van down there, and had some good time. Remember that?
Yeah, that was good. I remember pulling in there, and you had to go check us in, and I think I was 14, and you were like, "Here, Kyle, go park the van." I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot."
That's how much I trust this young man.
Right.
And that shows how old I am, or maybe how irresponsible I was as an AAU coach, letting the 14-year-old drive. It was your mom's van. Come on.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
She would kill me if she heard this right now.
It'd probably kill me too, but
I'm safe. It sounds like I'm safe here.
Yeah, you guys are fine. It's like that, you do bad things when you're older and you let 5 years go by and then you tell your mom what you did and she doesn't care. So
just so long as your little bros are behaving themselves, those twins can
these little guys are freaking tears. They just got their license too.
Man, I can't believe they're old enough to drive. Those guys were so little. But
right.
So Kyle was at South Salem and he could shoot the ball. Punt. This kid shot like 48%. What percent did you shoot in high school?
48.8 over 4 years. And
4 years. He was deep ball. I mean, he still can shoot it deep. But when Kyle was in high school, all-time three-point record holder at South Salem, which South Salem's a pretty big school here, state capital in Oregon, and has had, Mike McShane and Thalo Green and won state championships at the highest level in Oregon. Yeah. And Kyle, most threes in a career, in a season, in a game, which just got beat.
Yeah.
But that was because Kyle was coaching the kid that beat the record, right?
Well, and I flick him crap every now and again because I went 9 for 11 that game. I broke it, and he went 10 for 26, I think.
Oh.
If I got up 26 shots, I would have made 23 of them. So,
That's efficiency, man. So the moral of the story is that Kyle is a certified bucket getter.
Kyle is a sniper. So if you're watching this and you don't know, you don't want to play a three-point shooting competition with this guy that's about to talk to us tonight. So Not only that, though, Kyle's the type of kid that I've always respected him off the floor. Like I said, like he said, I trusted him to just go park the van because I had to run in, and so I was like, just park it. And I didn't even think twice because he's that type of young man. And he's just got an incredible story about perspective, and his attitude. It motivates and inspires me. Shout out. I wear a bracelet that Kyle gave me. So I'm going to kind of stop rambling and let the man himself talk. So Kyle, you want to just kind of take us through your story, and then we can ask questions at the end, maybe. I do have that picture pulled up, so let me know when you want me to show that photo.
Yeah, of course.
And we can just go from here, man.
Perfect. Yeah. So my name's Kyle. It's a pleasure of mine to be in here tonight. Me and Brant go way back, and I love the guy to death. But yeah, my story kind of starts, in high school. Brant kind of messaged or touched on, my shooting abilities, my basketball playing abilities. And from a little age, my goal was to play for the Lakers and drive a purple Lamborghini. That was my goal since the age of, I don't know, probably 8. And, once I realized, I was a 6'2" white dude from Salem, Oregon, not super athletic. I'm like, okay, I'm going to change that to, overseas basketball, Division I basketball, so I always had these little goals that I was building towards. But I ended up signing to play at Concordia University here in Portland, Oregon. and they're actually closing down now. Something happened with the whole financial stuff there, but the whole school's closing down. And when I was there, I didn't know what it was, if it was the school, the city, my coach, my teammates. I didn't know what it was. I just didn't like it. I wasn't having a good time, and I didn't want to sit through, 3 more years of that. And so I made the decision to transfer to Shemakita Community College here in Salem. And at the time, I had a moped. It was a 50cc moped, went 30 miles an hour. My favorite vehicle I've ever had. And I would drive that to school every day. Morning workouts, we did our morning workouts at 6 a.m. every day, except Saturday and Sunday. But I was able to meet the janitor there on second or third day of school, and I said, "Hey, what time do you come in the morning?" He's like, "Well, I come in and I open it for you guys at 6." I was like, "Well, what do I got to do to have you come open the gym at 4?" And he's like, 4 a.m.? I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't think I can do that because I don't get paid to do that." I was like, I can give you like $5-10 a day, me just totally stretching my bank account. And he was thinking about it for a second. He goes, "How about this? You bring me 2 maple bars and a black coffee every morning, and I will open the gym for you at 4 a.m. I'm like, "Done. Yeah, I got you. That's easy. I can do that." And every morning I'd put the donuts under my seat on the moped, and I'd hold the coffee, and I'd go 30 miles an hour, about a 25-minute drive out to school. And, the janitor told me, he goes, "Here's the thing. If you miss one day or you sleep in, I'm never going to do it again for you." And so I didn't miss one day that year. He didn't miss one day that year. And every day I was in the gym 2 hours before my team got there. And I would put up 200 to 300 shots, makes, and run 3 or 4 miles, and then get my own little weight workout in before my team showed up. And we kind of did that same workout when my team showed up. And about halfway through the season, I noticed myself losing I was pretty strong at the time. I noticed myself losing my muscle and, being more winded. And for the longest time, I was in the best shape out of anybody, because I was putting that extra work in. And, and then I started feeling sick. I'd have these feelings like there was water in my nose, and that would last like 30 seconds. And then I'd get this really nasty taste in my mouth, and that would again last about 30 seconds. And then I would be just total like space out mode, couldn't talk, couldn't hear, couldn't do anything, and just kind of like close my eyes. And so those started happening once a month, and that turned into once a week. That turned into once a day. That turned into like 9, 10, 11, 12 times a day, where I would have these separate episodes, and they were later to be found out that it was seizures that I was having, partial focal seizures. So I'm not like convulsing on the ground, I'm having partial focal seizures. And, while I was having those, we were up at the NWAC tournament, just finishing up the basketball year. And I had gotten a scholarship to go play Division I basketball at Portland State. And I remember calling my mom after our last game, and I go, "Mom, like, I got to go to the doctor. Something's not right, And she's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll make you an appointment." Next day I go to the doctor, and I'm there, and he's like, "Let's do a scan of your brain just to rule out anything serious, but I think you have a sinus infection." I'm like, "Oh, cool. All right." And 2 days later, I go to pick up my mom from work. And when I go to pick her up from work, I'm 3 days away from signing a Division I scholarship. And go pick up my mom from work. And she had been working at this place for 17, 18 years at the time, works for the state of Oregon. And she comes out and she's just sobbing, face red, tears coming down her face. And I'm like, she get fired, like what's going on? And she gets in the car because we were going out to lunch. she gets in the car and she couldn't really talk. And she's like, go to Fuji Rice Time. It's a rice and chicken spot here in downtown Salem. And so that's all she can muster out. The rest of the car ride was very quiet. And so we get there, walk into the restaurant. I turn to my right. We go around the corner. I turn to my right, and my biological father, who I hadn't seen in years, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents are all sitting there crying. And I'm like, excuse my language, holy shit, what's going on right now, And I'm thinking somebody died, but then I'm looking around like everyone important to me is sitting right here. And I sit down, and my mom kind of musters up the courage and says, you have brain cancer. You have a tumor in your head the size of a softball. You can show that picture now, Brant. And so that big white thing right there was the tumor. And you see those two little black dots that are, and there's one on the left and one on the right. Yeah, those two. Those are your carotid arteries. So, and if you were to have surgery and they even touch those, you're dead. And so I'm like, okay, that's good, Brant. I go, okay, where do we go from here? And, because initially I'm not crying or anything. I'm just like, okay, like, what do we do? Let's go take care of business so I can go sign my scholarship, had the signing party all set up. And I go up to OHSU that day, and I'm sitting in this doctor's office waiting for the doctor to come in, and then you just see this guy walk in, and the whole room just like, that this dude's in charge, right? And he looks at me, doesn't say anything. He just looks at me and does this. I'm like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, you can see me? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you can hear me? I'm like, yeah. He's like, get up and walk a little bit. So I get up and I take a couple steps, and he's like, okay. He's like, I'll be honest with you. I thought you were blind, deaf, and in a wheelchair, judging by that scan that Brant just showed you. I was like, no, sir. I go to school full time. I play college basketball. Like, yeah, like I'm, I'm a healthy young dude. And he said, I'll be honest with you. You're never going to play basketball again, basically is what he told me. And he said, you don't really have much longer to live if we don't treat this. And so my mind there, I was like, okay, perfect. Let's treat it. Me just being young and naive. I'm like, all right, yeah, let's treat it. And in a couple of days I can still sign. I was just super stoked because all my hard work had paid off. And he's like, well, surgery. And so I want to do surgery in 2 weeks. And if you make it 2 weeks, if you're alive in 2 weeks, I'll do surgery on you. I'm like, all right, cool. See you in 2 weeks, And 13 days go by, and 13 days go by, and I get a call from his office, from his assistant, and she goes, hey, your doctor had a family emergency on the East Coast. You're gonna have to wait another week. And I'm sitting there like, what are you talking about? Like, I was supposed to die tomorrow. Like, what? And she's like, I'm sorry, we can't do anything about it. He has to leave. I'm like, all right, and so that whole next week, I'm literally like this, like, okay, when's it coming? Because I feel fine. I'm still getting my workouts in, and I'm just like, all right, when's this death coming? What am I supposed to feel? Like in the car, like just waiting to get hit by a semi truck or something like that, And that week was just really scary. It really was scary, and something that I've never, a lot of people have never really thought about or gone through, especially at the age of 21. So I made it to surgery. Got into surgery. My first surgery was about 10 hours long. And they cut cut me open from here on this side of my ear all the way over to the other side of my scalp. And so they cut me open, and I wake up after surgery. I woke up like 3 days later, and, you know, my face is black and blue. And he goes, or comes in, the surgeon comes in the room, and, you know, all of his nurses and other doctors, because this is kind of a rare case for a tumor so big in such a young person. And they're like, Kyle, raise your arms. And I'm in bed like this. They're like, no, raise both arms. And I'm like looking at this one, come on, man, like move, you know. And same thing with my leg. And he's like, all right, there was a lot of bleeding in surgery, and you had a stroke. So the whole left side of my body couldn't use. I had to relearn how to walk, talk, breathe, eat. My rights and lefts, you know, I still have a little bit of problems with my rights and lefts today, or to this day. And that was kind of it, like basketball wise. You know, I was in a wheelchair for the longest time, and then graduated to a walker, and then eventually to a cane. Had another surgery 3 months after that first one, where they went through my nose into my brain to get some more of the tumor out. And, you know, same kind of thing. I woke up, and it kind of set me back on my rehab a little bit, was back in the wheelchair, all that good stuff. I got a handicap parking spot though, so that was cool. I got invited to all the Black Friday events, you know. Everyone needs that handicap parking. And so after that surgery, you know, it was kind of chill, kind of done, you know, and they got all that they could. So to this day, I still live with about a golf ball sized tumor in my head that's inoperable. Can't do anything about it. I have an incredible team of doctors up at OHSU that I visit every 6 months-ish, you know, and I get scans, and to make sure that the tumor's not growing, I take 25-ish pills a day, you know, at scheduled times, and they can't be missed by a couple minutes, or I'm just going to start throwing up, feeling sick. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at today. I think I've had a total of 6 brain surgeries in the last 6 years. I had 3 in 3 months last year, February, March, and April. That sucked. You know, so just all kinds of stuff, you know, for a young dude. I mean, I'm 26 now, but for a young dude, like, I feel like I've gone through more than what most people will endure in their lifetime, you know, and I feel like that's kind of what makes me the person I am today, you know, what makes me stronger. And, you know, that's how I think. You know, I have a very positive outlook on life. And I just notice things like the sky's bluer, the trees are greener, the grass is greener, like just this like energy, like infectious energy for life that I have now. And I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than where I am right now. It's all working out for the better. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I get to travel every now and again and speak to different teams and different organizations, businesses, churches. You know, so that's kind of what I do for a living until COVID-19 hit. Now I'm a manager at a bar in downtown Salem. I love it. It's my favorite job I've ever had. So yeah, it's good, man. Just living life and getting to talk to cool people like you guys. So.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, man. It's always amazing to hear your story. And what he didn't mention is during that time he got hit by a car and was back in the wheelchair. Talk about that by that drunk driver.
Yeah. Okay. So I getting warm now. So Oktoberfest last year, I'm out there with my buddies, and you know, due to my medical condition and all my medications, I don't drink or consume I don't consume alcohol, drugs, none of that. And so I'm always the DD for my buddies, and I love it. I love driving. So I take them to Oktoberfest one night, and we're out there, you know, they're drinking, and I'm just hanging out with them sober. I love it, and when we get there, it's packed. So I have to park like a half mile down the road. And when we're ready to leave, there's not a lot of people there. I'm like, well, I'll go get the car so you drunk idiots don't have to walk down this dark highway, And so I go get the car. I bring it back right across the venue. And I get out of the car. I go pee on this tree. I always add that to the story because if I didn't go pee on this tree, I would not have gotten hit by a car. Peed on the tree, got up to the road. Police officer waved me across. I made it through the first lane of traffic, then looked to my right, looked to my left, and I had a buddy with me, but he was probably 4 or 5 feet in front of me. And drunk 64-year-old lady with no lights on. She had a black Jeep, just mowed me down at 35-ish miles an hour. And I'm a big dude too, so I put a nice little dent in her car, broke her windshield with my forehead. This is gonna sound crazy, but it was cool because I didn't see it coming, so I was loosey-goosey, and then I got knocked out on impact and flew down the road loosey-goosey, so didn't break any bones. I tore the deltoid muscle, and then I tore it's called the vastus lateralis. It goes from your knee all the way to your hip, just torn in half. So again, like wheelchair, like having to kind of relearn that walking stuff again. It wasn't fun by any means, but it's just kind of another bump in the road. I'm pretty sure I'm indestructible at this point. So yeah, that was that.
But what I love about that, Kyle, is when I saw you and you came to speak at the camp and we're in the wheelchair, this guy says, I'm glad she hit me because if that drunk lady would have got back on I-5 going 70, she could have killed somebody.
Or herself, exactly. Like, she hit me at 35 miles an hour, like Brent said, versus getting on the freeway and, maybe exiting and hitting a family or something like that. She hit me, so, and I'm alive. So, that's just kind of the outlook you got to put on things, and excuse my language, shitty things happen, it's, you have to find the good in it or different ways around it to not think like, poor me, poor me, poor me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Instead of taking that outlook on it, you took the I'm indestructible outlook on it.
Yeah,
which is amazing. Life is trying to deal you this deck of cards, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take this deck of cards and I'm going to make the most out of it.
Exactly.
I'm going to play till the wheels fall off. So that's admirable, man. Respect.
Yeah, appreciate it. So,
man, Paul, what's your first? I mean, because I've heard this story a lot, and it just always inspires me to hear his perspective. And Kyle, we're gonna have you talk a little bit about the 3 F's here in a second, but
yeah.
Tell us about your thoughts or initial feelings when you hear that story.
Yeah, well, the first thing that comes to my mind is definitely like any problems that you think you have. It's probably not that serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this is, there's literally people who like you're literally 3 days out from signing a Division I scholarship, and then you find out this news. That's detrimental news. Like that's a problem. People talk about, oh, I did, whatever. Gas is too expensive. I can't believe it. My life is over. Little trivial problems. And it's like, is that really that big of a problem? There's really people who are really going through it. And then after that, you hit by a car. Like, we're talking about like some problems, and the attitude that you have about it and that you keep is insane in the best possible way that I can use the word insane. Like it's awesome. So definitely humbles me to the point that any problems that I have, I should throw them out the window because all of them combined are not that. You know the phrase, like if you could pick somebody else's if you could drop all your problems on the floor and pick somebody else's problems up, would you? And you probably shouldn't because you don't know what somebody else is going through. Mm-hmm. You've been through all this and you're here with a smile on your face. Like that's amazing, dude. That's sensational. So that's what comes to mind for me.
Yeah, and it's funny too. Sorry to kind of get off topic, but my aunt, very near and dear to my heart. She's my best friend. She just got diagnosed with colon cancer a couple months ago and just started chemo. And my grandma asked me, she's like, "Don't you wish you could just take this away from her?" And I'm like, "Hell no! that shit sucks. Like, what? No, I don't want to take that from her, like, especially me already going through it. Like, probably the nice thing to be like, oh, yeah, I would take it from her in a heartbeat, but not I, after going through what I went through. If I hadn't gone through all that, I'd been like, yeah, sure, give it to me, but I don't wish that upon my worst enemy.
After this, though, I'm gonna give Kyle your number, because if this guy's calls from the hospital, undefeated.
Unreal.
This guy's calls, man, like whenever I get a call from him or his mom, like, and I go to the hospital. I've been the last couple times at OHSU and visited Kyle, but when I get a call and I know he's had his surgeries, I pick up no matter what I'm doing, because you're about to be entertained.
Yeah.
This guy's stories.
Man, it's only when they give me the good stuff, and they do every time, because I'm in a lot of pain, but man, that stuff is unreal. Like, this is going to be bad to say, but I kind of see why there's drug addicts out there. Like, it feels good. I'm not going to lie, but like, if you have surgery, deal with that. And then as soon as you can, get off of them. Like, I think I was like 2 days in after my first surgery, after I woke up, and I was like, okay, no more. I'm done, so.
Well, definitely add me to that call list, because I'm ready to get the calls.
I gotcha. Hopefully I don't have to have another surgery, but you never know.
I'm praying for you.
And that was, you got to meet Maggie Miner that day, though.
Yep.
And I mean, I've just seen you come so far, man, just with that perspective. And on the bracelet that Kyle has, that on the inside, this Rebecca, get this. It says, everything we go through is a blessing by God. That's powerful for somebody that's gone through what you've gone through, Kyle, to have this perspective of everything we go through. Softball-sized brain tumor, 3 days away from signing a college basketball scholarship, and he finds out that he has a brain-sized tumor, and now living with it, 6 years now, Kyle?
Yeah.
And his perspective is the 3 F's that have kept him going and motivating him. And I understand why. Well, one of the F's, faith, family, and friends. This guy right here, Kyle's been an inspiration to me. So that's something when I start to feel sorry for myself, or we're in a global pandemic, I can't get in the gym, woe is me. I'm blessed. I'm healthy as far as I know. And then, I mean, Kyle's fighting every day, and you inspire me, man, and you keep me on my toes, and you can still probably outshoot me. Maybe. I don't know. There was a while, and I'm not going to say it was when you were still with your cane, but that you were coaching. If you're watching, he's still a coach at South Salem High School. Mm-hmm. But Kyle, when you had a cane, I think I could have outshot you. But now that you're back on your feet, you could probably no chance, even with the cane.
It depends which side is injured.
Which side was it that you couldn't lift your arm? Was it your right or your left?
My left.
Your left. So
you still get it up with the right.
Yeah, exactly.
Still flick exactly.
Hey, man, pure shooters, they can just get it up with the right anyways.
It's like riding a bike, man. It really is.
It comes right back, man. Well, that's awesome.
You can shoot for life.
You're a shooter for sure, man, and you've shot your shot. But talk to us a little bit about that, Kyle, about the 3 F's, how that was kind of what inspired you, or how you came up with that.
Yeah, so it was really like, it came down to like what really meant the most to me in life, while I'm laying in the hospital bed, like got my mom sleeping on the crappy little bed that they provide every night for weeks on weeks, and just like, man, like the 3 most important things to me in life are family, friendships, and faith. And I'm not going to get preachy. I don't ever, faith is, you can believe in whatever the heck you want, but find something to believe in. And then family, obviously. And if you don't have family, your friends are your family, and vice versa for friendships. You don't have friends, you know, your family's your friends. If you don't have family or friends, I'll be your friend, you know, like it's just like those three things like really got me through a lot. You know, like I said, laying in a hospital bed, like when you go through something like I went through, there will be times when you're like, man, I'm done fighting. Like I'm too tired, too sore, too sick to keep fighting. But you have to find a way to off put that fight that you don't have anymore and pass it to family, pass it to friends, pass it to whoever you believe in. Like you have to find a way to pass that energy you don't have to someone who has energy to help you fight, you know, and that's what family and friends and faith are for. Um, you know, and on the inside of that bracelet, everything we go through is a blessing by God. You know, I say that too because like when we have blessings like those, whether it's a, you know, whether it's an iPhone Dylan's got right there, or Coach Rebecca's dope office, you know, like we don't have a, like we don't have like anything to do but to give everything we have to that blessing, you know, like everything should be towards that blessing. Everything should be towards family, towards friendship, towards sports, towards school, like, and find a way to mix them all together, you know, into one big circle, and you're squared, you know, like you're good. So
I love what you said about passing it on when you're not strong enough. And there's times when even if you are healthy, even if you don't have brain cancer, there's times when stuff is heavy. And especially during this pandemic, there's been a lot of heavy shit going on and people losing jobs, losing family, loved ones. So I think that's something when you don't have anybody to lean on, that's when you got to reach out and connect with people. And that's one of the reasons why the X Factor and I started this show, was just because there is so much tough times going on right now that we want to be that positive outlook. Like I love seeing Dylan here and Jake, guys that have been like tuning in, watching these shows. And I hope it's because there's a little bit of fun, a little bit of positivity in a pretty bleak, dark time. But I know that's why we're bringing on guys like Kyle, because he can shed a little perspective. Arion, who was on the other night, some of these guys that have been through some real stuff, being able to share your perspective, man. And yeah, I've always been a huge fan, and it was as a coach because you could really shoot the ball.
yeah,
And that made me look good as a coach, right? But now I just am honored to get to introduce you to my friends, like the X Factor, like Rebecca, just because you are an inspiration, man. Like, because your perspective, there's nobody that would be like, buck up. Your life's not that bad. Everybody would understand, Kyle, if you were mopey.
100%. I could lay in my bed and mooch off my family for the rest of my life, and they would be like, oh, you know, well, he's sick. You know, but I don't want to live like that. You know what I mean? Like, and people wouldn't bat an eye. Oh yeah, he has cancer. Like, let him be. You know, he's not feeling too good. Like, just let him be. And I could totally just waste my life away if I want, but what's sense?
But I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let you do that, because I'm going to keep flipping shit your way.
Exactly. And, you know, like now, just to kind of see where I've come in the last 6 years, like I'm engaged now to an awesome girl, you know, like getting married next year. We're getting a dog in 2 weeks. Like, just like, yeah, that's my guy right there, Jake. Okay. Little chocolate lab. So, you know, it's just like all these blessings just keep coming my way. And yeah, it's been great, man. If you would have asked me the day before I went on my first date with my fiance, hey, are you ever getting married? I've been like, hell no, I'm never getting married, you know? So it's good.
I've met her, and you're smart wifer.
Oh yeah.
She's dead. Yeah,
power move.
I don't know what she's doing with me, to be honest.
She is out of your league, man. I love you, bro, but man, you're marrying up.
I feel like it's the definite of like, oh yeah, he's got a great personality. You know?
Or people are like, man, how did he end up with her? He must be rich.
Exactly. Which is the complete opposite, So
Hey man, you're a good looking dude. Don't sell yourself short. Come on, Kyle.
appreciate it.
We love you.
Appreciate it. No, she definitely brings home all the money. I just bring home all the tips from work and have some cash on me. So,
It
Can't
works
nothing wrong
out.
with
She's a
that.
nurse. She's a nurse in the ER at one of the busiest hospitals on the West Coast. So
she can take care of me, man.
she's a good one to keep around for sure, and especially in the middle of this pandemic.
Oh,
And yeah, and I know you're not a patient, you're a partner, and I know that's something that you guys are in this together, and that's what I love seeing is you motivated and happy and just
yeah. And she's hardcore too, man. It's like if I get a little boo-boo, or an owie, like, oh, I twisted my ankle. You're fine.
toughen up.
Okay, she's freaking tough, man. She played college soccer, and her dad played in the NFL forever. Which, by the way, guys, I don't know if you guys are married or not, but talking to the bride's dad is the most just like close I've ever been to having a heart attack, I'm sure. And her family is American Samoa and from Hawaii, and so they are just the biggest fun-loving family ever. And when I talk to her dad, just all day, I'm just stressing out, like not even being myself, just stressing out. And I go downstairs. I'm like, hey, Doug, you mind muting the TV real quick? And it took him forever to find the remote, and then forever for him to figure out the mute button. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awkward. And I was like, I said, oh, this is what I said. I go, I think you kind of know what I want to talk to you about. And he's like, I have my inclinations. Mind you, he's a big ass dude. Started at center for the Seahawks for a couple years. Like, he's a big dude. And I'm like, I love your daughter very much, and she loves me, and we both want to take the next step in marriage, and I want your permission to do so. And he's like, yeah, of course, we love you. And I'm like, that's it? And he's like, yeah, do you think I was going to grill you? I was like, yeah, dude, I really did. But, it just kind of boils down to that big, Hawaiian, Samoan culture, man. Just open arms, loving people.
Ohana.
And have
Ohana
rice and
family
chicken every day for dinner.
Not as like that Fuji, that rice time there in Salem.
Exactly. There's rice cooking 24/7 at their house. I love it.
Keep it coming. Keep the rice coming. Eating healthy.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome, man. Tell us, because hopefully Miranda's going to watch this back. Tell us about the proposal. How did you put a ring on it?
You want me to get her in here for this one?
I mean, you can share it now, or you can grab her. I don't think we need a reenactment. I don't want to embarrass her.
No.
Although I wouldn't mind one, though. I mean, this wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get a reenactment.
There might be some people watching that would love to see it. So,
guys, thumbs up if you want to see the reenactment. Oh,
everybody's thumbs are up, Kyle.
Everybody wants to see the reenactment.
Reenactment of the proposal. I'm not going to reenact it.
Everyone wants to hear the story of love. We all are here to see the story of love. Share with us.
Yes. So my family, growing up, I always went to Bandon, Oregon. My family has a little beach house down there, and really special place in my heart. And, I want it to be a special place in her heart. I just told him how I asked your dad, by the way, too.
Oh, no.
So I get my whole family on board that we're doing family photos on the beach, 7:30 on a Saturday night. And so she's asking my family all day, like, oh, what should I wear? And they're all like, oh, yeah, just wear whatever. It's super chill, low key. And so we're walking on the beach, and I know, like, what's about to happen. I'm shaking again, close to having a heart attack. And we're walking on the beach, and, like, I had a speaker playing kind of our song.
Which is?
It's called Lime Tree by Trevor Hall. And so it's playing on the speaker, and my stepdad's down there, with his camera taking pictures. And there's just, like, a single bouquet of flowers in this little alcove of the beach. And yeah, so she was like, is that, I hear Trevor Hall. I'm like, what? No, I don't hear it, as we're getting closer. And yeah, we get up there. She sees the flowers and hears the song. She's like, no way. She knew right then and there. And yeah, just danced with her for a second, told her how much I love her, all that gushy stuff. And got on a knee and asked her to marry me. And she said yes.
Had to be the awesomest feeling in the whole world.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, the hug.
When she said yes, I was like, oh, thank God. So it was good. It worked out perfect.
It was perfect. You did a good job. I don't know how you hid a secret from me.
I'm
terrible at hiding at surprises.
I cannot do surprises, and it took every muscle in my body to not like pull out the ring a million times. Like, oh hey, do you like this ring? Like,
when I had no idea, because I kind of originally I thought like, oh, Bandit, that's like a childhood place that you've grown up. That'd be a good place for you to propose. But he kept sending me things like, do you like this ring? Do you like this ring?
I already had the ring.
I didn't think that he had the ring yet, so I like put it out of my mind, like, oh, he doesn't even have a ring, like he's not gonna propose, and I had no idea. He did a good job.
Yeah, it worked out good. It worked out good. She's a keeper for sure.
I don't know if you can even really see the ring on here.
Oh yeah, y'all want to see the ring?
Absolutely want to see the ring.
Absolutely, Kyle.
Dude, I went full freaking pimp status on this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And get this, I didn't know what size of ring she wore because I didn't want to like tip her off. And so I'm at the store with this ring like this. I'm like, okay, it goes down to this knuckle. Like her fingers are this skinny. Like perfect. Fits like a glove.
It fits like a glove, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we've been, hopefully you can rewatch this if you didn't get to hear, but I think, I've known Kyle for a long time and think really highly of him. And Miranda, I've said this a couple times when he spoke, but I have a 2-year-old daughter, Maggie Minor, and Kyle's the type of guy that I would say the same thing that your father said if Kyle were to ask for Maggie's hand in marriage. Just, hell yeah, let's go. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that I think very highly of your fiance. And I've known him since he was a young guy and have just seen him grow up and now into a young man. And so I'm really excited for you guys starting this journey together, a new chocolate lab. So cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to have like 8 kids, by the way, guys.
8
Keep
kids.
them coming.
8. Wow.
That's a no.
Yes. It's going to
have
happen.
to negotiate down a little bit. But I like that you start with 8. Most people would have started with like 6 and then had to work down from 6. But you're starting with 8.
No, we're going to go 8 and work up towards 19.
Speak it into existence, Kyle.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I hear twins running the family.
That's right. Hopefully we get like quadruplets first shot,
Oh my gosh. Don't even say that.
She's not excited. She's like, oh no.
Quadruplets, even twins. We have one, and my wife and I feel like we're scrambling sometimes.
Yeah.
Start with 1 and go from there.
You can, you get 2, you can still play man-to-man. You get 3, then you got to switch up and go to the zone.
Exactly. Exactly. I just need a full basketball team. Start an AAU program. Just
for sure. Well, that's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you guys joining me. I appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah.
And definitely appreciate you, Kyle. And we can wrap this up, this recording, and then we can take some questions. But really do appreciate you, Kyle. Always do, man.
Yes,
I think
you
you gave some knowledge. I heard some new stuff, but man,
yeah.
3 F's.
Faith, family, friendship, baby.
Everything we go through is a blessing by God.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Well, Hunt, give us what do you got? You got anything?
Well, I'm gonna take some words of wisdom from a wise man. It was real. It was fun. It was real fun. Brant Miner says that all the time, and I love it. I used to love it all the time. I was like, man, I incorporated that into my vocabulary. But this was real. This was fun. This was real fun. Super inspirational. Kyle, you're an awesome dude, man. I can already tell. We've been on a Zoom for, like an hour, a little bit less than an hour, but you're an awesome dude. Definitely love to connect with you later on.
100%.
Hopefully, like you said, hopefully you don't have to have any more surgeries, but in the case you do, I need the calls.
Yes,
I need them. I got it locked in my brain now. If we have fans this year, man, if you can make it out to Chicago, man, I'd love to have you at a a DePaul game, some DePaul games, all DePaul games, you know.
That'd be great, man.
Whatever the case may be. But otherwise, man, this was an amazing segment, amazing episode 12, guys. And at the end of the day, be minor. If you're going to walk on.
And if you don't walk on. If you hire motivational speakers or you know somebody that wants this guy to talk to their team, give him a call. We're going to get – after we get off this call, just so you know, the coach in me is going to get on him a little bit because I wish we would have had a brighter light on his face.
Dude, I'm the most unphotogenic person on
Kyle, no, you're not. And so I'm going to talk – we're going to have a little pep talk when we get off. If you're going to bring it now with this new normal, as we call it, we want a little more light on the face. We need, you don't have to cut the hair. I like the hair, but we're going to coach you up a little bit. So
I'm growing it down to my ass. That's the plan.
Bold strategy. You're lucky she already said yes.
Exactly. She's trapped now. She can't go anywhere.
Got her locked in. That's the way to do it.
No runaway brides, but that's awesome. Good stuff, man. Well, hey, I'm gonna wrap this up and then open it up.